Namaskar and a warm welcome to BRICS TV Bharat. I, Professor Srinivasan, am bringing you insightful coverage of international developments that shape India's global position. At BRICS TV Bharat, we bring the world to your screen with analytical depth, strategic foresight, and unmistakable voice of Bharat. Stay with us as we explore today's most pressing issues with clarity and conviction. Shifting sands in global employment. The harsh realities for Indian workers in the US and Australia and India's strategic countermeasures. Global context and emerging concerns. In a rapidly changing global employment landscape, recent developments in the United States and Australia have generated considerable concern for Indian professionals abroad. Both nations citing domestic pressures, political populism, and economic recalibration have introduced sticker visa and immigration measures that have complicated opportunities for Indian talent, especially in technology, healthcare, and academic sectors. The US, historically a prime destination for Indian engineers and IT professionals, is witnessing what experts describe as a restrictive recalibration. The proposed USD 100,000 H-1B visa filing fee for new and transfer petitions has been criticized as a barrier that targets outsourcing dependent economies. Indian IT firms, which heavily rely on H-1B visa deployments, have voiced concerns that these measures could severely disrupt project flexibility and raise operational cost. In parallel, Australia's recent tightening of student and skilled migration visas rules has triggered unease among the Indian diaspora. The rise of anti-immigrant rallies, most notably the March for Australia protest, has created social and psychological strain on Indian residents and students. Although Canberra has reassured that these measures are not discriminatory, the public sentiment on the ground remains tense, prompting India's Ministry of External Affairs to issue a formal demarches and reinforce welfare channels for overseas citizens. Impact on Indians' employment economic landscape. The ripple effects of these developments are being felt across of Indian economic's fabric. With limited overseas employment avenues, many professionals, particularly in technology and management, are reconsidering foreign assignments or returning home. This shift exerts pressure on India's domestic job market, increasing competition and demanding greater focus on upskilling and innovation-led employment creation. The Indian IT and outsourcing industry, valued at over USD 250 billion, stands particularly vulnerable. The construction in cross-border talent mobility challenges its cost advantage and project delivery models. The flow of remittances, a crucial contributor to India's foreign exchange reserves, may also witness moderation if outward employment continues to decline. However, not all consequences are adverse. The decline in external opportunities may catalyze reverse brain gain, encouraging talented professionals to establish ventures and R&D initiatives within India. This trend, if supported through policy incentives, could reinforce domestic capacity building and foster indigenous technological ecosystems. India's strategic response. From protection to empowerment, India's reactions to the evolving scenario has been both swift and structured. Recognizing the need for a robust overseas employment governance systems, New Delhi has accelerated the modernization of its migration architecture through several key measures. The Overseas Mobility Bill, awaiting final parliamentary passage, aims to overhaul the outdated Immigration Act of 1983, incorporating digital management, work protection mechanisms, and transparency. The eMigrate 2.0 platform has regulated relaunched with multilingual support, digital verification, and grievance redress systems to streamline outbound employment process. the Gati, Global Access to Talent from India. Initiative launched in May 2025 is facilitating international placement and skill certification linkages for the Indian youth. The Skill India International Centers are now mapping global labor demands to align training modules with country-specific requirement, ensuring Indian workers remain globally competitive. At a diplomatic level, India is strengthening bilateral labor frameworks such as the Migration and Mobility Partnership Agreement with Australia and engaging with US to advocate for fair treatment of Indian professionals under emerging immigration laws. Mutual advantage and disadvantages. A balanced perspective. While the immediate effects appear unfavorable, a deeper analysis reveals that both India and its partner nations have potential areas of mutual benefit as well as inherent trade-offs. For US and Australia, advantages are reduced dependence on foreign labor can lead to localized job creation, domestic political appeasement and potential wage stabilization. And disadvantages when we look at shrinking foreign talent inflows could hinder innovation, slow research and development output and weaken competitiveness in sectors such as IT, healthcare and higher education where Indian professionals have historically played pivotal roles. Now, when we look at India's viewpoint, advantages retaining high-skilled talent may accelerate domestic industrial modernization, strengthen the startup ecosystem, and enhance local research output. On the other hand, the disadvantage is reduced global employment prospects could lower remittance inflows, increase domestic unemployment, and temporarily dampen the morale of outward-looking professionals. The way forward, building understanding and sustainable settlement. To ensure a more balanced and human outcome, the following policy pathways are emerging as critical. Diplomatic dialogue and mobility treaties. Continued engagements through BRICS forums and bilateral negotiations can ensure equitable visa access and work protection across partner nations. Next is the skill harmonization and certification recognition. Collaborative frameworks between India, the US and Australia to mutually recognize professional qualification can ease talent movement and reduce bureaucratic friction. Diaspora empowerment programs. India's emphasis are strengthening grievances cells, legal aid systems and mental health outreach for distressed workers and students abroad. Domestic job expansion and global partnerships. By leveraging BRICS alliance, India can position itself as a hub for global digital operation, enabling remote work opportunities with requiring physical migration. As an editorial reflection, the present overtly constructive employment scenario in the US and Australia represents not merely a policy dispute but a test of global independence. Nations that once thrived on cross-border knowledge exchange are now redefining their priorities in the name of domestic stability. Yet the world economy remains too interconnected to succeed in isolation. India's response emphasizing resilience, skill development and diplomatic assertiveness reflects a maturing economic state that no longer depends solely on exporting talent but increasingly on retaining and nurturing it. For sustained harmony, cooperation and growth, the next phase of international engagement must evolve beyond visa quotas towards a shared commitment to equitable labor mobility and mutual prosperity. You are watching BRICS TV Bharat, Global Vision, Indian Insight. This is Professor Srinivasan signing off with gratitude for your time and trust. We remain committed to presenting balanced perspective, credible analysis and stories that strengthens India's voice on the world stage. Until we meet again, Jai Hind. And keep watching BRICS TV Bharat where every headline reflects heartbeat of Bharat.